on Thanksgiving, one question that Emma asked every single one of us was, what was the highlight of your year, like 2025?
Mm-hmm.
And mine, I'd say, was that this year I was finally able to be available for basically every practice and game. And I know that sounds, like so minor, but it's something that has meant so much, because I feel like for the past 3 years I always had another setback around the corner, like no matter how much I worked, no matter how much I like wanted it, that's like something else would happen, and it was heartbreaking.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast is presented by Henkel. From pre-game rituals to everyday routines, Henkel helps families prepare for the moments that matter. Because winning starts at home. With Henkel's family of brands, including Persil, laundry detergent, Got2b hairstyling products, Dial soap, and Loctite adhesives. Welcome to the U.S. Soccer Podcast presented by Henkel. My name is David Gass, and this is the show where every week we bring you in-depth interviews with U.S. soccer stars of the past, the present, and the future. And we've got all three in this one. We have Meghan Klingenberg, sitting down with Cat Macario, one of the up-and-coming superstars for the U.S. women's national team. The Chelsea forward scored 3 goals in the last 2 women's national team games. Before we get into the topics, Kling, how special is Cat Macario?
I love that you asked that. To me, she's going to be such a bright light in the future. In fact, I truly think that she's going to be one of the best forwards in the history of the game. And what's so fun about talking to her is that we haven't even seen what she can do yet. She's had some pretty significant injuries over the last 2 years, has been recovering from them, and only now is she starting to hit her stride. But I would say it's kind of perfect timing leading into the Women's World Cup in 2027 and then the Olympics. And we're getting to see just some of that special footwork, how good she is at moving in the box and finding space to create angles to be able to find the net. She's one of the best in the world at that. And as you watch her, you will continue to see how she is separating herself from the rest of the forwards.
All right, we don't need to waste any more time. Let's get to it. Yourself and Cat Macario sitting down for the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
Cat, welcome to the show. So happy to have you on.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
It's good to be here. Yeah, I'm doing good. Last camp of the year, so yeah, good vibes.
I love that. So I know who you are, and fans of this podcast know exactly who you are, but what I'm most interested in is how you would describe yourself. And I've asked around to a few of your teammates, and they actually describe you as slow to be ready for anything, including training.
True.
Perfectionist and very family orientated. But what do you think?
I feel like that's right on the money. I think that's right on the money. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely someone that's, very just like laid back and chill, which with that comes a little bit of slowness, whether it's to training or just, to basically anything.
Does that come with being from Brazil?
Yeah, I feel like, it's just like, what's the rush? Like, I think it's just more like a laid back lifestyle in which, like, if someone says, like, we're meeting up at 2, it's like, well, like, you have a window between 2 to 2:30 to show up. It depends what it is. Like, if
but
it's
what if the bus leaves at 2:30?
No, but that's different. I have learned from obviously growing up here in the U.S. that you actually have to be on time for certain things. And so when it comes to, just like team activities and team meetings, and I am on time. I'm usually cutting it a little bit close, but I'm never late. And that is something that I will always stand by.
Okay,
I'm never late.
I'll have to confirm with Captain Lindsay Horan. And we'll see what she says.
Yeah.
And see if that's, what you're telling us is...
Lindsay and I have a little bit of a feud, I would agree.
You do?
Well, just in terms of timings, because she's like, after game, she's like, come on, Kat, we have to go. Like, it's like, we finish the game, she's like, we're leaving at 10:10. And I'm just like, whoa, we just played a game. Can we, like,
Yeah.
You know, take it easy. Like, we're just like, you know, we got to do some recovery.
Love it.
Like,
Yeah.
take a shower. I'm not trying to like be like go all the time. Like,
Yeah. How I deal usually with people like yourself, instead of saying, oh, we're leaving at 10:10, I'll be like, we're leaving at 10.
exactly. Honestly, that is what you have to do. Like, just tell me a different time.
I'm going to give her this feedback.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But I'm also eyeing everybody else. So I was like, as long as I'm not the last one, I'm okay. You know what I mean? So
that seems fair. So as we were saying, you moved to the United States in 2011, and you said that it was a bit of a culture shock, moving to someplace completely new, not speaking the language. Take us back to the first time you stepped on the field in California, your new home, and what that felt like.
Oof, I mean, it was scary. Yeah, it was very scary. I didn't know how to speak any English really. Like, when I was on the flight over here, I just knew how to say that, you know, my dad wants Coke, or my dad wants, like, you know, orange juice, something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, thankfully, you know, like, soccer is a sport that you play everywhere in the world, you know, so then I feel like I was able to, I guess, communicate through that and through my passion of it. But it was very scary. It was very scary. There were a lot of times in which I was, you know, just like unsure of myself, or whether I had made the right decision to come here, whether my parents had, you know, made the right decision, whether their sacrifices were going to be worth it. But yeah, thankfully I had some very good and kind people that were there to help me and just to like look out for me. And yeah, yeah, it meant the world. But yeah, thankfully I'm here today. And yeah, it was scary, but it was all worth it.
It always feels like we never make it on our own, and community has such a big role in where we're going and how we get there. And when I talk to a lot of my friends who have English as a second language, they often talk about how their community gave them movies and books and video games and music to help learn the language. Was there anything in particular that you used?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like when you're kind of just like thrown into a situation, you know, which in my case, I guess I was just showed up here, then you kind of just have to learn, you know, you have no choice but to learn. And you do that by practicing it. And of course, you know, I'd say Disney Channel helped a lot.
Which shows?
Hannah Montana,
yes.
You know, Jessie, all the goods, that helped a lot, because at least I knew that was like, you know, I understand the concept. But yeah, it was a little bit different, but it was, you know, I could understand and get by in that way. But yeah, and then, I mean, you just have to try and learn. I had some, of course, like English classes in middle school and things like that. So yeah, it was, at some point, I mean, you almost have like no choice but to try and to put yourself out of your comfort zone. But yeah, it was all due to those people that really gave me the encouragement to keep trying, and to know that's like, it's okay to fail, but you know, you're going to keep getting better.
Now, changing gears here, I want to talk about the time that Stanford came to Portland to play the Portland Thorns. Do you remember this? It was a scrimmage. We played at the University of Portland field. You probably
was
don't
it Stanford
remember.
or a national team?
No, I think it was Stanford. I could be wrong. It doesn't matter. Either way.
Okay.
I was on the bench that game because I was on restricted minutes. And so I was about 3 feet from the sideline, and you were playing against our Thorns team. And I remember I had the front row seat to you nutmegging our left back.
Ooh.
And then dribbling down and like doing something in the box. And she was pissed. Like, I'm talking absolutely seeing red. And then 5 minutes later, exact same spot, she comes through and totally takes you out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, you're a player that loves to have the ball at your feet, super creative, oftentimes are embarrassing people out on the field, like in that moment. And they think that they can only use physicality to slow you down, to stop you. How do you deal with something like that?
To be honest, I'm not necessarily bothered by it. It's just, it's just a game that's like, you have to do what you have to do. And I feel like.
But like, how do you keep your cool? Because I'm asking for a friend.
That is a good question. I don't know. I just, of course, if they do it multiple times a game, then that is very frustrating and annoying. Especially because majority of the time they're kind of doing it when the ball's not even close to you, you know, and the ref is not seeing. So it's whoa, it's not that deep. Can we just calm it down? But yeah, I don't know. I understand that it's it's just part of the game. We're all just, we're all just trying to win and be competitive. So I understand that sometimes you have to do what you have to do. I think, sometimes you can kind of tell who actually wants to just hurt you or who's just, they're trying their best, And so in a way I kind of just you know what, I support it. I would want my defenders to do the same thing too. So yeah.
This is the attitude that I need to channel. This is what I need to learn. So I know this is a big question with a lot of nuance, but how did you decide to choose to play for the United States over Brazil?
Yeah, it was a difficult decision in the sense that, I love Brazil. It's where I was born, obviously where all my family still is. And yeah, I do feel like it's so very much so a part of me. And so to choose to play for the US was, unfortunately, I did not feel as if I had the necessary resources and the necessary pathways to pursue my dream of becoming a professional footballer in Brazil. And so in coming to the US was basically a move that, involved my parents knowing that they saw the dream that I had, they saw the talent that I had, and how much I actually wanted this to happen. And so they knew that because of the time, there were no pathways for girls and women to really go into the professional game as one does here in the US.
Even after seeing Marta pursue superstardom, you still felt that way?
Yeah, Marta is she's a warrior, she's been through so much. She's worked so hard to get to where she is right now. And I feel like, if you really know her story and how far she's come, from a very small town in Brazil and to get to where she is today, she's incredible, honestly. She's just, honestly, she's a legend, but also a warrior in the way that she had to fight for so much, not only for herself, but also for Brazil. But my parents wanted to really, just give me the opportunity to, I guess, pursue a better future for myself in a way, whether that was through education or whether that was through soccer, whatever it was, for myself and for my brother. And, I do think that they had this mentality of trying to seek out the American dream, in which that's anything here is possible if you work hard enough. And because unfortunately, when I was 11 in Brazil, there was some type of rule that said that I was no longer going to be able to play with boys, which I did at the time. And so the only choice that I had really was to either stop playing or to try and go somewhere else and move somewhere else. And fortunately enough, my parents had the ability, I guess, to support me financially to make that move over here to the US. And it was a tough move, a very scary one, but I'd say it was one that was necessary. And I'd say that it was one that was necessary, but one that also allowed me to carry out all my dreams of going to Stanford, of, you know, just pursuing different things in my life if I wanted to do that. You know, as much as I love Brazil and it's a part of me, and I'd say I have the two worlds and the two cultures within me, I do think that, you know, I also owe it to the US to, you know, just, and wanted to play for the US, you know, like, because of the way that they took me in, of the way that they, you know, gave me the ability to pursue my dreams, you know, which, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't be here today, obviously, but I also wouldn't have been able to go to Stanford, you know, just like to pursue other things. So, yeah, that is all to say that it was a tough decision, but also one in which it just made sense, you know, it just made sense because here's where home has also become. So, yeah.
The countdown to 2026 is on, and every moment matters. Whether you're at home or on the pitch, preparation is everything. From clean kits to fresh confidence and bold style, Henkel's family of brands is there, behind every routine that keeps life running smoothly. Because great performances don't just happen on the pitch, they start at home. Brought to you by Henkel and its family of brands, including Persil laundry detergent, Got2b hair care products, Dial soap, and Loctite adhesives. Proud partners of U.S. Soccer.
You've made headlines for years in the sports world, but recently you've been making waves in the business world by signing a new historic deal with Nike.
Oh
you were
God,
even
I
in
forgot
Forbes,
about that.
actually.
Like,
You were like, wait, which one?
I was like, what? What have we been doing? Yeah.
How does it feel when a company takes such a big bet on you?
I mean, of course, it feels amazing, you know. I'm very humbled and honored as well, you know, to, I guess, like, be the person that they wanted to invest in, technically. But, yeah, I think it just shows, like, you know, like, where you can go when you work so hard. And, yeah, I think it gives you that extra, like, motivation to, you know, keep going and to keep pushing, and hopefully shows others that, you know, you can really make a living out of being a professional soccer player, which I feel like so many years before that was not a possibility, you know.
Can confirm.
Yeah, I mean, that is like, but that's true. That's like, that is thanks to you guys, you know. I feel like my generation, and for many more generations to come, I think we're so fortunate and blessed, honestly, to, you know, be able to, I guess, just like experience what we're experiencing today because of the work that you guys did and the legacy that you left. And so, yeah, thank you.
Well, you didn't have
for
to
doing
say that,
No,
but
I
like, appreciate
thank
you saying
yeah.
it. And let me just say that, like, we are so excited to see the progress that has happened. For example, my partner Ingrid and our two little Pomeranians, we all live in Brooklyn, and we often ride the subway to go into the city for whatever we're doing. So one day we get in the subway, minding our own business, sit down on our little seats, look across the subway, and there is a poster of Cat Macario. Scary good. And we squealed.
Oh,
like,
that's so cute.
We made a total scene on the subway. And
Yeah,
just for
that's so
reference,
cute.
nobody looks up from their phones or their newspapers or their books on the subway. So we made a total commotion. And we're just we truly are happy that this is happening for women's sports. But it got me really curious. How does it feel to be on a billboard?
I mean, it's surreal, for sure. It's surreal. A lot of people send me, you know, like, pictures and show me, like, how, I guess, just like how well the campaign was doing and things like
so
that.
Cool.
But yeah, it was really, really cool. Yeah.
Did you have any creative control, like, going into it, where you're like, I want to, like, let's do this, let's do that? Did you, like, did you have any input?
No. I mean, I'm someone that's, like, very low key, and so I don't really like, you know, drawing that much attention to myself, or just, you know, I'm kind of just like hanging out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, obviously, like after I signed the deal, they're like, hey, we have this really cool campaign that we want you to be a part of, and I think that would be a great way to announce that you're joining the team, you know. So yeah, I was just like, sure, let's do it, you know, like whatever you think is best. But it was surreal, and yeah, I mean, it just had me thinking of, you know, just the little girl that started playing football, and that it was just so nice to see how far she's come. So yeah,
it was really cool. It was all over New York.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I mean this in the best way possible. Your face was terrifying. Like, you crushed it.
That I had to work on. They were like, do like this.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a very low-key person, as you say, I was like, dang, I wouldn't want to go against her, you know. I don't know if you know this, but I was actually on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever been?
I have not. I don't think so, no.
Something to aspire to, Kat.
Indeed.
Anyways, the part of the story that's funny is that after the 2015 World Cup when we won, they took pictures with everybody in the trophy, and mine was like, ah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And it was on the cover, and they distributed them all over the country. And mine, a lot of them were distributed in Pittsburgh, because that's where I'm from.
Oh, that's awesome.
So my mom and my dad drove around to every store that there was and
that's so
and bought all of them, and then ended up with a box, stacks and stacks of Sports Illustrated. And to this day, my mom still gives them out to family, friends, and fans like she's giving out candy on Halloween.
It'd be like that. As she should. As she should. She's just so proud.
Does your
She should.
Yes,
seriously.
but does your family embarrass you like this?
Oh my God, my dad. He goes anywhere and he's like, "Oh look, my daughter, my daughter," and I'm just like, they did not ask. No one was talking about their children, like nothing, like absolutely nothing. And then like, of course, like everyone's like, "Oh wow, that's awesome," but I'm just like. So embarrassing, but I feel like that's what parents that's what parents do. It's just they are proud. Sometimes you definitely just kind of like want to go and hide in the corner, but I mean, I think your mom has every right to do that though.
You do?
Yes, absolutely. You're in the cover of a magazine.
Oh my gosh, she even made me sign all of them in gold Sharpie. Not black, not blue.
She knows what she's talking about.
Not silver. Gold Sharpie.
Next time you see your mom, be like, "Thank you, Mom." Because that is amazing. Okay. That is amazing.
I mean, I will definitely tell her that you said that, because she will be like, you know what? At least somebody appreciates me.
I mean, you should. You were the cover of a magazine, of course, right? That
it did
gold,
feel pretty
of course.
Cool. It did feel pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll do this after you have your cover.
Oh my God.
Come back to this moment, and we'll discuss.
Hopefully.
Yes, we
will.
One day. We will. I know we will.
I just hope to be as cool as you.
You already are. Let's be real. So, after you signed the deal, I had to think. I was like, wow, that would be maybe a little stressful for me. But did you see it as validation, or was it a new beginning to like another level of pressure?
No, honestly, I think. I didn't necessarily, I mean, in some ways, of course, there is some pressure to that. But at the same time, I just viewed it as in, you know, I just feel so humbled in the fact that I, you know, was chosen to be a part of the Nike team, and also, I guess, to be helping and I guess like paving the way for many more deals to come, because I do feel like, in all, I guess, like with all due respect, I just feel like I'm not necessarily, like I don't necessarily view myself in the way that's like, oh yeah, like you should definitely be making like this much or something like that. You know, I think there are many players that are, you know, better than me or just like ahead of me that's like they should be making more. But I feel like this should just be like, this is just like the basic standard, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like...
So you feel like it kind of reset the world of women's sports and allowed everybody to kind of make more money and allowed more opportunities for other people in the landscape?
Well, not even like, not with this deal by itself, but it just shows like how far we have to go still. You know, that's like, if I'm making this, then X, Y, and Z should be making like so much more. But it's like, it just shows that's like the bar is so low.
Yeah.
That's like, we really have to, you know, like we just have to keep
Somebody
pushing the
has
barriers.
to push the bar, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
why
we just
not
have
you?
to keep pushing the barriers. And yeah, I mean, I just mean that, yeah, I mean, I just feel so humbled and privileged to have, of course, like have been able to, I guess, like be part of that deal. But at the same time, I do think and hope that this is only the beginning, you know, and that there will be many more to come. And so like a lot of people deserve even more, you know, but I think because people are just now starting to wake up to, you know like how great women's sports are, that's like, you know, I think the bar is still very low in comparison to, of course, like the men's game and like things like that. And so I do hope that this would just be the beginning, and that would just keep pushing the barriers even more.
I'm sure you don't like to talk about this because it's clear that you're a humble person, but I do think the reason why we wanted to talk about it today was because it did reset the bar for everybody else. It allowed more opportunity for other people, and it's going to create more pathways for women to play this game and to play it longer and to earn a living, which is so cool. But I do think, you know, talking about the good side of soccer, we also have to talk about the hard parts. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your injuries. I feel like as a professional athlete, it happens. We have bad luck, we get an injury. But what people don't see when they're outside of the game is the loneliness and the isolation that comes with being sidelined. Can you talk about that experience for us?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been... Injuries are obviously, you know, part of the game. It's a risk that we take. But it is, I mean, for the past 3 years or so, I have unfortunately been, you know, been through the thick of it, I'd say. And, you know, it's funny that you asked because before our last game before we played Italy, on Thanksgiving, one question that Emma asked every single one of us was, what was the highlight of your year, like 2025? And, you know, we all shared in small groups, but mine, I'd say, was that this year I was finally able to be available for basically every practice and game. And I know that sounds, you know, like so minor, but it's something that just has meant so much, because I feel like for the past 3 years I've really just felt like I always had another setback around the corner. Like no matter how much I worked, no matter how much I like wanted it, that's like something else would happen, and it was heartbreaking. And I feel like in some ways I'm very much still healing from that, but it really was heartbreaking. And it's a very, very lonely road, because, you know, like you see your teammates going out to train all the time, and then like you stay inside in the gym doing the same things over and over again, hoping that something will get better or like something will give. And you kind of just like are stuck in this uncertainty, and you don't know when things will get better. You don't know, like at least for me personally, I felt like I didn't know whether I'd be able to play again, like whether I would even have like a good quality of life and like walking or going up down the stairs, like, you know, just because it was so tough. But yeah, I'd say this year I feel like I've finally been able to find a little bit more consistency, and that is something that I am most proud of. And yeah, it's something that I obviously have just worked for, but at the same time it really just shows that like you can never take anything for granted, you know. And I'm just, every time that I get an email to come to camp, I'm just like so happy and so thrilled, because I'm like, whew, thank you, Lord Jesus. Like, you know, it's just, yeah, it's very, very tough, but it just shows the strength that every athlete has had to have, you know, and the resilience and patience that you had to have to, you know, try and stay mentally, physically, like, ready, and just trying your best to get back to doing the thing that you love.
And it seems so mentally draining, and it can be quite a dark place. Mm-hmm. So how, and you're not able to play, which, you know, for all of us, that's where the joy is. So how do you keep your love of the game alive during those dark moments?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I feel like I love soccer. I love watching it, you know. I love being surrounded by it, but I do think that at times I have definitely needed to, like, just take a step back and kind of just recover, like, kind of just discover who Cat, the human being, was, you know, and, like, what I like to do outside of the sport, what I wanted to do maybe in the future.
Did you discover anything profound?
I mean, honestly, I think what I've discovered the most was that I placed so much value in soccer, and just I almost just, like, let a specific, say, like, a specific performance, like, really just dictate my self-worth almost, you know. And I mean, it makes sense because you care so much about a sport, you care so much about wanting to help your team or wanting to do well, and I really just, you know, just sometimes would just put so much focus and so much value in what people thought of me, or, you know, like, how well I did, whether I scored or not, like, all everything, you know. But I think with the injuries, I just realized that, you know, like, it's just a 90-minute game, and if you don't do well, that's okay. Like, you know, you're not gonna die. Like, there are so many bigger problems in the world, you know. And so what's really important is that, yes, like, you learn and you care about the result, but at the same time, like, I'm grateful to have my health and to have legs and to, you know, just to be able to even have the opportunity to be out there on the pitch. And yeah, I don't, like, my worth should not be dictated by whether I did well or not, you know. And so, like, what matters is that I'm a good person. I try to be, you know, a good person, a good friend, a good daughter, a good sister, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. And a game or a performance will not dictate that or tell me my self-worth.
Somebody clip that. Send it to all the girls out there. Your self-worth is not tied up in performance. I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, Kat, I want to end here. We spoke about your decision to play for the U.S. women's national team. What is your ultimate ambition as a U.S. women's national team player?
Well, my ultimate ambition would be to win everything. Yes. But, of course, first to be invited to go to, you know, the World Cups, the Olympics, and again, to win it. But at the same time, yeah, I think it definitely does start with, you know, the camps in between, obviously, the days, the trainings, like, everything. And so, yeah, I want to be like, yeah, that is exactly what I want, you know, win a gold medal, be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, you know, things like that. But I think first it starts, at, you know, the lower level. And just my ultimate goal is to be the best version of myself and help my team in the best way that I can to get us to that point.
I love that because, I mean, that's the ultimate dream, isn't it? Just like, nobody's better at being you than you.
True. Preach.
And I think that's where we have to end it, actually, because that might be the perfect ending. Thank you so much for being here. This has been so much fun and really insightful, and I'm so excited for all of our listeners to be able to hear this conversation.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? And O'Reilly Auto Parts is right around the corner. O'Reilly Auto Parts can help take the guesswork out of your vehicle's check engine, ABS, or maintenance light with O'Reilly Veriscan, a free service that only takes a couple of minutes to complete. You'll receive a free, easy-to-read report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans that have been verified by ASE-certified master technicians. O'Reilly Veriscan can identify the most likely problem with just one scan. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can then recommend the parts and tools that you need to do the repair right the first time. And if you're not comfortable doing the repair yourself, they can recommend a local shop for you. Don't ignore check engine, ABS, or maintenance light. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today, a free service exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts. California, the U.S. women's national team is coming west on January 24th in Carson and January 27th in Santa Barbara. The U.S. women's national team faces Paraguay and Chile. Don't miss your chance to see the best in the world live from the Golden State. You can get your tickets at ussoccer.com/tickets. And last thing before we get out of here, we've got our Ask the Pros, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is your chance to ask a question for myself, for Kling, or for our partner, Alejandro Bedoya, and we get back to you and answer it on the show. And we start with you, Kling. We've got Pat in your native state of Pennsylvania, but coming from the other side, Philly, it seems like, who says, what are your thoughts on the U.S. women's national team's squad depth heading into the upcoming World Cup? Do you think the team has enough versatility and experience across positions to handle the tournament's challenges?
I don't feel like we can answer that question yet. I don't think we even need to answer that question yet. What I'd like to see is I want to see Trinity Rodman and I want to see Naomi Girma play extended time without injury. I want to see the two new moms in Sophia Wilson and Mallory Swanson playing at full strength. I want to see what all of that looks like. I mean, those are four pretty key players who haven't played extended time in a year and a half. And so, I mean, they're going to make a huge impact in the World Cup whenever they're back to full strength. And I feel like the team has been doing really well without them. They've put in good performances. We're seeing a lot of young players have impacts on the games, but at the same time, these are world-class players, and there's four of them, and we haven't been able to see them play in a while. I want to see where they're at. So I think this NWSL season will be very important for the likes of Trinity Rodman and Sophia Wilson and Mallory Swanson, and then of course Girma over in England. And I just want to be able to know where everybody's at, because if we have those four, then I think all of these young players that have been getting minutes, that are making impact, that means we have great depth. And if we don't have these players, then I think it might be the opposite.
It will be interesting to watch coming into this year. Congratulations to, as you said, those new mothers. Sophia Wilson's baby, adorable, loving all of the social media content that we've been getting so far. All right, now for me, Jim from my native New York City, who says, from your perspective, how well are the World Cup preparations shaping up? And is there a particular area on the field that you are most focused on? I think it's an interesting question. It's obviously a much different question than it was a year ago. I think we feel a lot better about a lot of positions on this U.S. men's national team, but I think the big one is center forward. Florian Balogun has played well. He's probably earned his spot there, but the depth behind him, Ricardo Pepi, unfortunately going down with a forearm injury. He'll be out for at least 2 months now, heading into those March friendlies. And we're getting reports that Josh Sargent might be making a huge transfer to Toronto FC, where he would, I think, be more in the spotlight for Mauricio Pochettino, as well as show what he's fully capable of, being the star player of that team and having to sort of lead from the front. So I think there's still a lot of movement that could happen in that center forward pool, and I think it's probably the position that I'm most interested in watching going into those March friendlies. If you have a question for our Ask the Pros, you can drop our partners at Westwood One a DM on Instagram at Westwood One Sports. Well, thank you to Kling. Thank you to Cat Macario. Thank you to all of you for listening. And don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube and never miss an episode. And we'll be back next week.